COVID-19 calls that we're trying to keep our membership updated as best we can. Hopefully you're getting lots of good information with everything we've done in the last few weeks. And I should mention Barbara's on the call, Stephanie's on the call, and we got Phil Hawkins, our awesome CEO. And Phil is going to start us off as he has been the last few times.
Thank you, Ray. Just a reminder, and I'm repeating myself because I say this at the last couple times we have it. We're still open. Please give us a call. We're open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays from 9 to 1. We have 12 people answering the phone calls. We're still getting between 2 and 250 calls a day. And if you need product, let us know. We can ship it to you, or we can arrange for you to come pick it up. So we can do almost all of our services over the phone during this time, and we can get you whatever you need. We're still doing 2 to 3 Zoom calls a week, this being one of them that we're doing weekly to get this information out. We still have online education classes going out, so look at our schedule for any classes you're interested in. Let's see, what else do we have here?
Every time you say we have product, it just sounds bad to me. we're open and we've got plenty of product, so come on in.
What kind of
Sure, where you been shopping, Ray? Let's see what let's see. I know this is going to be coming up from some of the everybody else on the call, but I do want to mention about our board directors application. Right now, we are accepting applications for those that want to be on our board of directors, and it'd be a great time to apply. You know, take a look at our application. It's on our website. It's also emailed to you. We have 3 directors on the call right here. If you want to talk about your experience or talk about anything about being involved in the board, I think now's the time.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So Barb and Ray, you guys have been on the board for a while now. What's been your experience? How was it kind of jumping into that? What made you decide to get involved, and why do you stay involved?
Go
Barb, you can go first.
Oh gosh. Okay. So actually I got involved because someone tapped me on the shoulder. I was already involved with the grievance committee at Pacific West, and an incoming president who thought I might be a good director asked me to apply just to, see if it was something I was interested in. And, I did, and it was, I'll admit, nerve-wracking. And just so you know, for all of you lucky members who apply for the next, 2021 board, you're going to get to do your interview via Zoom, unlike all the 3 of us who have to go into the big, large boardroom, and it's very intimidating. So Zoom will be much nicer, but I could talk forever about my experience with the board and how wonderful it's been. But at the end of the day, I think the benefits that it's given me is the inside industry knowledge that makes you an absolute better professional and better at everything that you do, whether it's in your sales business or in leadership or running an office, everything. You just become better at what you do. And then the relationships, the friendships and the relationships that you're going to meet truly have become lifelong friendships for me. So I would highly recommend, if you have any interest in giving back or, want to get involved, it's a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that people should know is it's not as time consuming as one might think. So people all the time ask me, everyone knows I'm a top producing agent, just like you are, Barbara, and Stephanie's got her office. And you look at our daily lives and think, how do you have time to do it? You just make time. And it's not as much as people think. Yeah. And I got to second what Barbara was saying. It's the relationships you make. I feel it makes me a better realtor because you are kind of forced to be more involved as far as going to classes and listening to Giardinelli, and just it does make you a better realtor. And at the end of the day, it helps when you're out with clients and you let them know, I'm on the board of directors for our local association, and this is what we do. These are the battles we've fought with our local politicians, and so there's a lot that comes of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's 4 2-year terms, and there's 2 1-year terms. And those 1-year terms are for people that are members that have never served on a board of directors before. So we always have 2 brand new people, and you could have more, but there's a total of 6 positions open. and we're hoping to get plenty of applications. So please apply.
Yeah, Wednesday is the deadline, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Correct.
2
But
days.
it's a good, if you don't know what you're doing, or not sure if you should, you can reach out to any of us, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you more about that experience.
Yep.
But it is, it's cheesy as it sounds. It's like a life-changing thing for yourself and for your business, especially. But you guys, it's totally worth it. So
Yeah.
I highly suggest getting involved.
It definitely has been a highlight of my career.
Yeah.
And it's addicting.
Not done yet.
You start with PWR, then you get on CAR, and then you go to NAR, and it all just piles on. And that's maybe when you start to make a little more of a time commitment when you're doing that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of travel. But for our PWR board, there's no travel.
Yeah, Ray, that's a great explanation, because I think sometimes my local colleagues look at me and say, I'm not doing that. Well, you guys got to understand, I went 0 to 100. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go 0 to 100. Just because you're a PWR director doesn't mean you have to become a state director or a national director or go to all these conferences that I go to. Like, as a PWR director, really, we have an annual retreat in the fall, and we have 6 meetings a year as a board. And then obviously hopefully the industry events that you already go to, the wine and beer, the economic forecast, the legal update. Of course, we expect our board members to be there if they can. So really, you're looking at maybe 11 events a year out of your entire year. And the board meetings are what, an hour and a half?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not a huge time commitment. So I think that's a great point to make, Ray, because I think sometimes people look at the 3 of us who are super involved at all levels, and they think, oh, no way that I could do that. And it's really not that type of commitment for the local association.
Yeah. And our board meetings are very productive too. It's like jam-packed. We get stuff done, and then we move on with our day.
Yeah, and a good example of the transition into our clear cooperation policy that we need to talk about. If you were on our board, you've known about clear cooperation now for since November of last year. So you would already have this kind of education level, and kind of, it's not insider knowledge. It's just awareness, because the information is brought to us as a board. You would already be very well versed in that. You would already be kind of ahead of the curve just because of the work we do as a board of directors. Like, that's an unintended benefit of being involved, is you're ahead of things, and you know things that are coming down from different channels, right? And Stephanie, wouldn't you agree? You've already probably told your office about clear cooperation for months now.
Yep. So it is that awareness that you are able to digest and work on, and even be a part of making some of those changes and decisions. Not on the clear cooperation side from a PWR standpoint, but so many other things that affect our business. Yeah.
So let's talk about clear cooperation. It's coming.
It is.
It's happening, guys. If you are wondering what are the 3 of us talking about, Phil, should they go to CRMLS's website?
They can go to CRMLS's website, or I believe our YouTube channel has our last legal update. They can go to our YouTube channel.
That was a long one, guys, but it was so good. So if you haven't seen that, go back, because you'll get a ton of good info on that.
Yeah.
And you know, we're today's what, the 20th? This goes into effect on May 4th. We'll be sending it out again as well.
Yeah. So that's like 2 weeks from now. And I know you're all maybe not thinking about real estate rules right now, but this is the biggest for quite some time. This is the biggest fundamental change we've had in how we practice real estate. And it's not really how you practice real estate, but how you're going to take a listing, input a listing, what you can do with marketing and advertising. It's a big change. I think there's a ton of positives in it, but it's a huge change. So don't fall behind, and all of a sudden we come out of quarantine, let's hope on May 15th, and then all of a sudden you go to take a listing and you don't know the new rules. Like, you have plenty of time to learn the new rules right now. Plenty of time.
So on a different subject, because this just came out over the weekend, so I think on the last Facebook Live, we talked about the city of Long Beach and what they're doing on their rules. We also talked about what Orange County was doing. But the area we were unclear on at the time was LA County. over the weekend, we got clarification from LA County. They are going to be, they're going to match what basically Long Beach is doing. So what does that mean for showing properties in LA County? So you can show properties. Now, we strongly encourage you to do everything virtually that you can do virtually. But when you get to that point where your buyers have to see that property, you can show that property. And the rules are very similar to what Long Beach is. I know we're finalizing the last few changes to the document, and we'll be getting those out probably first thing tomorrow. There's a chance maybe later today, but probably first thing tomorrow. And but if you saw what we sent out on Long Beach, it's going to be basically the same thing.
And thank you, Phil Hawkins, for all the work you did on that. I mean, I'm keep screaming it until everyone hears it.
We have a great government affairs team. Christine and Tim worked really hard with LA County because we weren't getting we kept asking, what does this mean? What does this mean? And we weren't getting information back. And so we sent them what Long Beach is doing because the wording's the same. It's just the interpretation could have been different. Yeah. And they came back over the weekend and confirmed what we were hoping, that you, when necessary, you can show a property.
Yes. And Phil, can you also share with our members how important all of those changes really came from, or the ability to get into the LA County Health Department to the right people came from our relationships with assembly members in LA County, and how important that piece is that we do at Pacific West? Because I know when I came into volunteer real estate, I was a very successful realtor, and I had no idea what really went on behind the walls at the association. And you obviously lead that charge. Like, what did those relationships do for us in getting these answers?
Yeah. So in this case, and this happened both at Long Beach City as well as the county, is, we reach out directly to the mayor's office. We reached out directly to the health department, because it's the health department making these rules. It's not politicians that are setting these rules. It is actually the health department, from whether it's the county or the cities that have a health department in their city, that are making these rules. And so we reached out, and I don't want to say we weren't getting information back quickly. I think they were trying to figure out everything as well. So when we weren't getting the information as fast as we wanted it, then we started leaning on our friends on both sides of the aisles. When it goes to LA County, we were working with Assemblyman Patrick O'Donnell from Long Beach, who is a Democrat, and we were also working with Assemblyman Philip Chin, who is a Republican out of the Diamond Bar Walnut area. And so both of them were sending questions into the county. We need clarification here for realtors. And so they were helping. We were asking, and we got the information back that we wanted, and we got it in what we wanted, because we were worried about them shutting down the whole housing industry. Where if you look at LA City, you cannot show property in LA City. If you look at parts of the desert, you look at parts of Northern California, you can't show property at all. And we were saying, you know what? There is a safe way to show property if we have to. We're not saying we even have to in all cases, but if we have to, here's the steps we're going to take. We sent them the CR guidelines on what was recommended when showing properties. They liked seeing that. And so that's when they said, you know what? Okay, I see that you're going to do this in a safe manner. You can if you have to.
Definitely.
So grateful for that.
Good job.
Yeah, it's so important. And speaking of showing properties, can we have a little conversation about one thing we have heard that our members are doing, or possible, maybe not our members, but just realtors in general, that we really need you guys to not do? So
Open
Are you
houses?
talking about open houses?
I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is, do not do open houses. Okay?
No.
Open houses are 100% forbidden. But what agents apparently are doing is virtual open houses have become a thing. Okay, that's cool, and you can do them. But do not put out open house signs on a Saturday afternoon directing consumers to a property where the sign on the property says virtual open house at 1 o'clock. Like, if you're going to do a virtual open house, it should be advertised virtually, because those open house signs, guys, if the wrong person in the health department sees those and thinks that we're actually having an open house, all that work Phil just did is going to be gone.
It goes back to the perception is reality. If the perception
Totally.
is you're going to have an open house, it's going to get out in the community that, oh, there's an open house, and it's going to come back and hurt us. It's not going to help you. It's going to come back and hurt you.
Yeah. the headline's going to be in the Orange County Register, realtors still holding open houses with a picture of your open house sign. Do you want to be that person on the front page of the paper? Right?
No, I don't.
How easy that will happen?
Isn't all PR good PR?
No.
No? Okay.
Not in this case, Ray.
All right.
All PR is not good PR. But yeah, we really got to be careful about that stuff. That concerns me. I haven't seen it. I have not seen any in my area, but we have been told by multiple realtors that it's happening. So if you guys could not do that, because you're going to get turned into Lori, and then you're going to get a phone call from Lori, and that's the last person you want a phone call from.
We did have a person in your area, not a PWR member, have an open house a couple weeks ago that we had to contact right away and say, stop that.
I mean, there's no reason to have an open house right now, and you don't need open house signs out.
Yep.
All right. I don't see any questions from anybody today.
Well,
Quiet on the front.
That's how it goes. People are tired of being inside their houses.
Yeah.
So, Rays, how's your business going? You said you listed a property and got some.
I had one in escrow that fell out last week because the buyer just kind of had a change of heart. His business was suffering a little bit, so he backed out, and we put it back on the market Friday, and today we got an over asking price offer. And
Nice.
So things are still moving, and it was an agent that showed it. This is in Orange County. It's a vacant house. They sent me the PEAD. I asked to make sure they were going to wear gloves and wear their masks and do everything safely. They went, showed the house, and liked it and sent an offer. So things are still happening. I think price points are a little different because some of my active $1 million plus stuff, not getting the kind of activity that I would want, but it's expected right now. And so I think it just kind of depends on the market. Barbara, you told us you had 18 offers on a property, and I'm not seeing that kind of stuff up here in La Habra.
And that number I honestly lost track. I have a spreadsheet for them all, so I don't even know. The number could be 20 right now. I know it was at least 17. And yeah, crazy price point to price point. It was a $500,000 home. The attraction of it. And yeah, 18 and aggressive offers, writing above asking price, sight unseen, obviously subject to showing and inspection. And, the only thing that I saw through that process that I want to caution our agents on is I saw a few offers come in with ridiculous prices, contingencies removed, and no viewing of the property. Guys, that's just reckless. That's not, yes, I understand people want houses right now, but we still have to use our counseling and our guidance to help them make the right decision. And just because property's hard to get in doesn't mean I think that it's appropriate to go in and just take away every buyer's right. That's, I think, setting ourselves up for, challenging times. So I was a little, kind of shocked to see that. Most of the offers were just shortened time periods, subject to inspection, strong offers. Then they viewed the property with a private appointment. Then they either rewrote their offer or submitted as is. That's, normal. That's okay. That's kind of how we're doing it now. But to come in just to secure a property and take away all of the buyer's rights is, as a listing agent, I won't do that. I won't even let a buyer come in. And Ray, I know you're the same way. Like we want your buyer to have an inspection. We want the buyer to have an appraisal. Like as a listing agent, I don't think it's healthy or right for us to go in and just take away all the buyer's protection.
Yeah.
What about you, Stephanie? Are you seeing a lot of agents in your office still keeping busy?
Still keeping busy. I would say, we've talked about this before, but the unique situation we're in, the level of engagement has just gone up incredibly. And that's, awesome. People are craving.
We lost you again.
We would like to announce that Stephanie is getting new internet.
Guys.
She's getting new internet this week. It's okay, Stephanie. We got you. See? Still shots of Stephanie in all her positions.
No, but people are still working, and a lot of our listings are seeing multiple offers. New listings are going up on the market almost every day for us.
Yeah.
you know, it's still moving. It's just different.
Stephanie, are you seeing it price point to price point too?
Yeah, totally. That $1 million plus range is definitely slower.
And I hope all our agents realize the reason it's slower is purely because of the lending environment. It's really not the market. That is the market, but it's because of the restriction on jumbo loans and non-QM loans. Like a lot of people that are buying really expensive properties are doing creative loans, deposit loans, things like that. And that market's gone. So I think that's important to note. Because I think if there was financing available, we'd probably be seeing some of the similar stuff we're seeing on the lower price. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah. I do.
So, can you tell us how many new members we had last month?
No, this month.
Or this month,
It always, so what happens, they come in a rush at the beginning, then it slows down as the month goes on, and then we'll get the rush again. But we've had 40 new members come in and join this month, which
that's crazy.
And 30 of them come in the first week. So April 1 through like April 7, we had like 30 new members, 29 or 30 come in right away, and then we have about 40 for the month.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I always
now it'll slow down a little bit since the DRE isn't testing, right?
Yeah, that will slow down a little bit. I did hear just today that all DRE services that monies you owed them or appointments you've had, they're pushing back everything 60 days. So if you have any dealings with a DRE, I would suggest contacting them to find out, because basically they're pushing everything back 60 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
Hey, new times.
And then I think Stephanie is doing a legal call next week with John Dardanelli.
Yes, next Tuesday after my new internet is in, at 1 p.m. we're going to be doing it as like a John's Rants Q&A. So make sure you hop on that. John will answer any questions that you guys have. So it'll be good.
Yeah. He's fantastic, you guys. I know you all know that. And, it's not often that you get just like, it's really like free legal advice time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But can you all do us a favor? And I'm just going to say this based on the legal panel that I hosted or moderated. Let's not just try to ask questions to try to
get around.
Right? Like, let me just warn you. John's a little cranky with all of us. All of you, or not us, because I don't do it, but like the question of, well, my friend has a celebrity client who you want different
What's going to happen if I break this rule? How severe is my punishment?
Exactly. Like, let's come with real, thoughtful, actual questions that are happening in the field, not how can I get around the rules that are in place?
Not worth it, guys.
Yeah. Not worth it. And John's not going to be nice about it. He's lowering his tolerance for those.
As he should, though. I mean, come on.
Yes. Right?
This is Steph's rants. Let's go.
We're going to rename the show, right?
We should just have a show of just ranting. We all come up with things that like tick us off. What are you drinking, Stephanie?
Just so you know, John is on my watch party. And first of all, he said, who said free legal advice? Game players are going to pay for his next cruise. If he goes on another cruise. But maybe it says his next trip. I just insert cruise. But
people still cruise?
Right? I know. Where's John going to go on vacation?
I know.
It's really fun to talk about John when he can't argue. He can't respond.
We're building the questions up for next week.
We should just talk more about John this whole time. What do you think?
So the other thing we want to make sure everybody knows about is on Wednesday of this week, on the 22nd at 2:00, YPN is sponsoring economic forecast. So 2:00, mark your calendar for economic forecast this Wednesday.
2:00, right?
2:00.
Is that with the Stephen Thomas guy?
Correct.
He's so good.
Yes.
So
I've never heard him before.
So he to get him is amazing because he charges for his information online, newsletters, and access to his little videos he does every week. And correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, but he specializes just in the real estate industry.
Correct.
And he's in Orange County, and he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's huge that our YPNs were able to secure him. Good job.
2:00 Wednesday. Mark your calendars.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else, you guys? Oh, Phil, you wanted them to save the date in July.
Yeah, we still have July 17th as our PWR Summit. That was originally scheduled for June 2nd. We pushed it back to July 17th. Keep your fingers crossed that we can actually have this go forward. We are planning on it. I mean, that's about 3 months away, guys. I'm hoping that we're going to be okay by then to have to be able to go forward with this. So mark your calendars, and we'll keep you updated as we go.
Yeah.
And you get all this information and emails from PWR on a daily basis. So read your emails. That's always a constant battle. We should say that in every time we do a live. Read your emails.
Yep.
Yeah. So John wants everyone to know that the new forms, liability, and any legal and insurance issues post-COVID will be the focus of his rant with Stephanie.
Excellent.
Yes. Well, and make sure everyone knows that all of those forms got updated, I think,
Friday.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday of last week. Yeah.
The days are blending into each other. So go check the forms because they were all updated and quite a few changes were made.
And there's the new ones too in regards to leases. And
leases, I think honestly that's where most of our members are struggling with their clients is with the tenant situations. I just got a phone call today from a client whose uncle passed away, and he was letting a friend stay in the property for free. Then he died. So the person is now squatting and saying that they have a right to stay forever because you can't evict them right now, which you can't. Even though they're not paying rent, they have no contract. You know, the best thing I always tell my clients when they get frustrated about landlord-tenant situations is I always tell them, have you ever heard the saying, possession is 9/10 of the law? In real estate, it really is true. It's about who currently is in that property. Until you get a legal decision, it's about who's in that property, no matter how they got there, which I know is frustrating right now. But like our good friend Scott Brady told me, it's probably going to be September before we even see any court action on any of this. So bring your tenant questions to Stephanie and John on next week.
Yep, next Tuesday.
We'll be ready.
All right. Well, I think that's probably it for today. And as always, stay classy out there, PWR. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
I think we're still live.
I don't think